Well, hello, 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 and welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. That's right. There's not a Mustang sitting here today. I thought I would change the background a little bit. So anyway, uh, today is our Thursday afternoon live stream at 3 p.m. We also do this on Monday nights at 7 p.m. So if you're just joining us, that's what this is all about. Live stream, talk about cars and who knows, all kinds of stuff. Last week we talked about food. Well, hey, why not? We all have to eat. Anyway, so when we do this, we try to get people interested and participate. If they ask questions or they bring up a subject matter that we can all talk about, or we can answer those questions. If somebody can answer the question, they get a bell. And even if it's me, sometimes I give myself a bell just for, because I can. I also give bells for occasional people who show up. We have been doing it a lot with Dave's, but our Dave numbers have seemed to drop off. So it could vary. I could see we have right off the bat, first one here is Greg's Workshop. So I'll give Greg a bell for being the first one here. How about that? Glad you're here, Greg. Greg is here from Australia. Matt F. Good afternoon. Glad you're here. Jerry checking in from the Money Pit in Middle Tennessee. Glad you're here. Jack W. checking in. I saw some update pictures on Jack's fastback, and he was asking some questions about bracing and stuff like that on a Facebook forum, which is good. Get information. It's always good to ask questions, and hopefully people respond appropriately. Rick Stevenson checking in. Glad you're here. Nandu. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Dave Conville. Oh, we do have Dave. I just can't give you a bell today. I really want to. But now you're the only Dave that's showing up. So I may have to hold off on the Dave bell right now. Just going to hold off. Ray Buckman here from Colorado. Glad you're here. And Richard Byrne is checking in. Larry Fordyce. Good morning. Good morning. So you're in Okinawa, right? I remember things. You're in Okinawa. Glad you're here. I know you shared some pictures with us previously from cruise ins, and here's one of them. Here's one of them you shared with us on Monday, and this is in Japan. And you also showed us your 68 coupe with the crazy green color. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Anyway, like I said, as you can see, currently Jade is sitting outside. I've been doing some other things, and what I wanted to get done, and I talked about this before, is this Triumph T100 Scrambler project. I've started on it. I did some work to it. I was focusing on Jade, and now, it's pretty much done. Oh, and let me point out, since I do see the little Wi-Fi symbol popping up, occasionally this thing, my feed goes crazy. It tries to go to Wi-Fi, even though I don't have Wi-Fi turned on. If it does get fuzzy and it's not you, it's the broadcast. So anyway, just pay attention to that. It should clear up. I know it's something I've been dealing with for months, and it's frustrating. Anyway, so again, you'll probably see this more in the background as we go along, but that Scrambler project, that was for a friend of mine who he was over in Afghanistan, and he's back now. We all know about that. So I wanted to get it done so he could enjoy it while he's back in the States. So everything's put together. All the brackets are on. I made videos on this. I did a bunch of work underneath that cover for the battery, where the battery is, and built brackets to hold all the modules and stuff like that. Of course, I painted the tank. I built the seat pan for it, and I got the fender and all installed. So now it's ready for him. He can do some more work to it. I know he's going to black out the chrome on the side cases for the engine. The other side's already done, and so he'll be doing that on his own, and maybe some other detail stuff, whatever floats his boat. Samantha Romero. Samantha YT. So I'm assuming that's YouTube. Dave. Oh, what the heck? I don't want to be a Nobel Dave. Well, You're the only Dave that's showing up now, so it's like it's changed the format. We got to keep growing. Crash Rider, good afternoon from Southern Indiana. I almost feel guilty sitting here in my safe house with what is going on in this world. Thank goodness for our hobbies. Yes, give you a bell for that. And I read that as safe house rather than safe house, because there's a different thing. There's a safe house, and then there's a safe house. It's all in how you word it. Iron Horse Garage, hello, nice bike. Yes. Yeah, there are I think there's 2 other videos or a couple other videos on that. And I'm trying to get, like I said, I need to get it finished up. He's going to get the seat pan redone or covered, put some padding on it. And there's some other detail stuff that he's going to do to it. Now, along with that, if you'll notice, I know you've seen Jaded here all the time, but if you'll notice, normally right in front of my toolbox over there is what's usually sitting right there. Anybody know what was usually sitting there? It's not there now, because I'm taking advantage of moving stuff around, organizing. If you don't recall, there was a 351 Windsor sitting on a stand over there that many times I've walked around and around and around to either go get tools or, talk about something that's on that side of the shop. And people see me walk around the car and around the engine. It is now in a better location. We'll put it that way. It's in a better location and it's out of the way. So that's another big plus. Part of that is I've got to continue to organize the shop. So this morning, I left the house with my Suburban basically packed full of cardboard, from our own stuff we get in the house to the stuff that was out here. I got the windshield. It was in a great big box. I had great big boxes from NPD, and I had a hood box and fender boxes and, just all kinds of stuff. So I filled up the back of the Suburban this morning, took it and to the recycling. So that's all gone. A lot of the cardboard is now gone out of the, there's still quite a few boxes in here, trust me, but the bulk of that stuff is out of the way. Along with that, I always haul off plastic and cans and recyclable stuff from within our house. So I did all that at the same time, got rid of that. So that is really a good thing in many ways, because, eventually, before too long, hopefully, I have that 67 coupe over here, because I need that get that here relatively soon. So what's going to have to happen? And I will say this: there's some other stuff that's going to happen as well. But finishing Jade is probably going to go temporarily in the paint booth, and then I'm going to get the 67 here. The other car that's on the lift that we all know about, it needs to go away. I'm going to finish up some things that I started on that car that I feel like I need to finish because it's something I started. So I'm going to finish up some of that. And then that car's got to go. As far as I'm concerned, it's got to go. But I don't want to commit, to that until I finish up those few small things that I already started. So anyway, all that is, trying to get the shop cleaned up, organized. And there's still a lot to do. You can look at my bench over there and see there's junk all over that thing. And a lot of it is because I couldn't get to it. We just tossed something up there, but there's more to come. So I got to get all the stuff out of here as much as I can. Jerry, did you hear about the Marines and the bomb at Kabul? No, I did not, and I don't know that I want to hear that, Jerry. I hate to say that, but I'm already pretty angry with the whole situation. But I'll research that. Thank you. Crash Rider should have been sitting here safe in my house. Now back to the vehicles. Yes, I get it. Richard, organizing the shop is never ending job. Always moving stuff around. Should have built a bigger shed. Yeah. I mean, the shop. I mean, a lot of people say, "Well, your shop is huge." Well, it is until you start putting stuff in it. I can, with everything cleaned up on the sides and everything, I can get 2 cars in here side by side. Can't do much, but I can get 2 cars in here. And of course, with the lift, I can put a car underneath the car that's on the lift. That's all well and good, but how much work can you really do in that situation? So that's the problem with having. You need to have workspace. JT, hi Barry, JT 73 Dodge Challenger checking in. Looks like you're down to some fine details left on Jade. Yes, yeah, I'm getting really close. I mentioned, I think last video, that I had finished. I'm almost completely finished with the windows. I got the passenger side window regulator done, the vent windows resealed, all that stuff. I still need to pull the driver's side vent window out, reseal it, get it back in. And from there, I could start really doing interior work, put in the, get the door panels in place, get the quarter filler plate panels, inside, get those in place, seats in it, carpet in it. Still got to put the windshield in, which I'm waiting for my best assistant next door to be home. He's on vacation and can't do. I could probably, honestly, do it by myself, but I'm not going to allow myself to do it because I already know I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. Iron Horse Garage. What size is your shop? Well, the width is 24 feet. The depth is 36 feet. But then there's an additional 14 feet on the back where the paint booth is. The paint booth is 24 by 14 technically. The main shop, the whole thing, is 24 wide and 50 feet long. Probably about half the size of what I really need. But I get by with what I have, and I still would like to have, honestly, if I had probably if it was 36, well, if it was 36 by 50, I'd be pretty ecstatic. But as it is, 24 by 36 is the main shop. March Indy, you can never have enough shop space. I agree with you, buddy. 100%. I guess you saw the news that was out about people where we used to work, right? About how they're going to start charging them money. I don't know if you saw it or not. Richard, mine is a 24 by 40, and I wish I could have built a 30 by 50. Yeah. Well, I mentioned it on Monday. My wife and I have semi-passively, semi-actively been looking at houses over in Alabama. And one popped up that we both kind of are interested in, which is hard to find, one that we can both be interested in. But that one has on the property, I think I read that it's a 36 by 50. I think is what it said, 36 by 50 shop. That actually has like a mezzanine in the back, because it's pretty tall, but it's 36 by 50. And then it has a lean-to on the side, like maybe another 12 feet. That's just a covered space. Very appealing to me. The house, as long as she's happy, I'm happy as far as the house goes. JT, have you ever been on Hot Rod Power Tour or have any interest? I have not, but I would like to. The difficulty I'm going to have with that is either one, getting my wife interested in doing it, or two, having her say, go ahead and do it yourself. So I don't know that either one of those is really an option. I don't know for sure, but I am interested. I think it'd be fun. Tom, great show. What's the highest temperature a 3D small block should drive around with? Is 200 degrees high normal? That's a pretty good question. I know I can't say specifically. It depends partly on the vehicle, on the engine. But if it's 200, that may be a little on the high side. I would prefer, a max of about 180. But really, is it staying at 200? And how accurate is that $200 or 200 temperature reading is another question. Have you gone outside, when you've seen it reading 200, and maybe I have like a laser temperature pointer and check those areas and see if it's actually reading 200, because, these gauges are not 100% accurate. They're just not. And you can have different temperatures. So if that's like up on the intake manifold, that may be reasonable, I know that they can read different temperatures at different points on the engine as well. I know I'm just doing these Dakota Digital gauges. It specifically said to put the thermostat or the temperature sensor in the intake manifold, up at the point where the thermostat is. It said put it there. That's your most accurate reading. So there are some variables that may come into play. Matt, I would love to do the power tour. I don't have enough vacation for it. I have plenty of vacation. I have plenty of vacation banked up. In fact, I was employee of the month again this month. Whoop, whoop. I think I'm going to get it for the quarter and maybe even employee of the year. Yeah. Yeah, it's doing that good around here. Jerry, I'm installing the ePass and through the new I Did It steering column. Oh, and the new I Did It steering column. I had a steering box rebuilt and is installed. I am filming the install. Hope to get it edited and posted. Cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that, Jerry. I would like to see that. Iron Horse, mine's 30 by 30, and I have a 20 by 20 side by side. Still isn't enough. Yep. JT, would be cool to do a Joe Daddy's meetup next power tour. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be fun. Stop somewhere and get some ice cream. That would be fun. But again, I have to have the approval of my boss to do that. Here's another thing. And I'm just going to bring this up because I think it was kind of funny this morning. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny when it happened. I was cleaning up all these boxes around here, breaking them down. I go out of my way to make sure when I take boxes back to the dump where they recycle, the bins, I remove all the tape that I can. I remove labeling if I can. I remove staples, all the stuff, that you don't want. I break them down and I get them into small pieces as much as I can. Well, this morning, and I think that any guy on here can relate. I was doing something with a box, and I'll just try to put this as gentle as I can. I was doing something with a box, and in the process of breaking it down, I managed to have a swift action between my legs that resulted in a swift response from my body. I'll just put it that way. But what that made me realize, because, every so often, you don't want this to happen ever, but maybe every so often when something like that happens, it really makes you appreciate the time, the few number of times that it actually happens. You can look at life and go, well, at least that didn't happen today. But let me tell you, when I did that, of course, we all know if you've been through that scenario, we all know how our body reacts to that, and it is brutal. And especially when it's self-inflicted, it's even worse. Well, I ended up from that interaction, my back spasmed or whatever, and now my back feels like it's out. It's not been a good day. It's not been a good day from that point. So just just life, But tomorrow I'm going to go, I'm glad that didn't happen again. All right, Iron Horse. So classic cars, how about Barracudas? Those are classic cars too. They count. Yeah, even the old ones from the 60s, those count. Crash Rider, if you get Employee of the Year, you should give away a hat or a T-shirt to a subscriber. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Don, cool, Jerry. I'm considering E-Pass for Betsy. I'll be watching for that. Okay. Tom Mitchell, thanks for your answer. Just had a CVF serpentine system with a fast flow water pump and a temperature steady 190-200 after a regular 30-minute drive. That's probably not bad. Well, now that you say 190 to 200, that's probably not bad. I know a lot of people have had temperature problems with the Mustangs where it's been in excess of 200, 225. So that's not too bad. Iron Horse, let's talk about them. Well, what do you want to talk about? You brought up Barracudas. What do you want to mention? I can't say that I delve very much into Barracudas as far as the car. I know at the junkyard, my dad had a couple of the 60s model with the big black glass, like the Hemi under glass car. Yeah. Had a couple of those. I don't know if they were unique. It's kind of like the fastback Charger. It was a unique kind of car. But the early ones, I'm not too impressed with personally. Now, if you go into the 70s, Barracuda Challenger, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. And I will say, since you brought it up, talking about their awesomeness, since you brought it up, I'll give credit to whoever owns Mopar now, whoever owns Dodge, whoever owns the Chrysler name. I don't even know if it's still Fiat or whatever, but I will give them credit. One, for the design of the Challenger, the new car. That thing is, I can't complain about that. I can't complain about the Challenger, and I can't really complain about the new Charger. Those cars are cool looking. They're fast. Of course, I see a lot of people wrecking them and stuff like that, but I give them a lot of credit for that design. They hit the money, hit it right on the head with that one, and but they've done a good job with those. Now, could you imagine if they come out with, I know you got the Challenger. Well, what if they come out with a Barracuda version? That would be cool. That would be cool. Iron Horse, I have two 64s, a 65, 66, and a 68. No 70s, but that's next. Okay. Yeah. The history of them, I couldn't even tell you. I didn't even know they made 64s or maybe 65s because they're just not in my direct wheelhouse, right? But yeah, they're cool cars. John, I have a 57 Dodge Custom Royal Lancer convertible and a 70 CUDA convertible that I'm working on. That's why watching your show is so helpful to me in restoring them. Cool. Thank you, John. 70 CUDA convertible. Nice. And that's what's in it? What engine's in it? What transmission? What's the build on it? That's pretty cool. That's really cool. 57 Dodge Custom Royal Lancer convertible. They love to throw a lot of names on there, didn't they? I know my mom actually drove this car a little while. My dad had bought this car. It was a 51 Chrysler Windsor Deluxe. Chrysler Windsor Deluxe. That's the first car I ever drove. It had a manual automatic transmission. That was pretty cool. So 57 Dodge Custom Royal Lancer convertible. That's a lot of words, but it's cool. I'm sure it's a cool car. And what condition is that one in? Are you working on that one or driving it? Because that would be cool. Iron Horse is awesome. Matt, Barry, how when your brake boot lace. Oh, you brake. Okay, how when you brake, BREAK, your boot lace first thing in the morning. You know how bad of a day it's going to be. I hit myself like you did with my belt buckle. It was a very bad day. Well, let me tell you, when you have a piece of cardboard that's on edge and it is moving at a rapid pace and it makes the perfect contact, you know it. And I've done that with the belt buckle too. But this time I crumbled. Yeah. went in the house, and my wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, it's really hard to explain such a thing, but it makes you appreciate, again, the times you don't have to deal with that, without a doubt. Anyway, so like I said, I'm trying to clean up stuff around the shop, and I've got rid of some boxes that they've been here for years, just accumulating dust. I found the boxes that I had for the quarter panels for Jade. Why was I holding on to those? I don't know, but they're gone. They're gone. And I found the boxes that were for the fenders for the convertible car, still with the stupid Dynacorn sticker on top of the Taiwan box. They're gone. They're gone. John, 340 day coated with an auto. The Dodge has a 354 Hemi in it. Power brake, auto, both are running as of now. That's cool. Yeah. 340 date coated with an auto. That's nice. That is nice. Now, I don't know what condition it is in, but I'm just guessing here. If you've probably been through AMD and pursued some products through them, I assume, at least for the CUDA. Leonard, afternoon all. How's everyone doing today? Doing better. CUDA, you experienced the bell ring no man wants. Exactly. But that is a great equalizer, isn't it? Great equalizer. Yeah. I don't really care how big and bad you are. That thing will put a stop to your big and badness. Greg's Workshop. Hi, the bike's looking good. Yeah, it is. And I know he's going to love it as soon as he gets it back in his possession, and he can start doing the finish work to it. Very cool. John Iron Horse says he's saying very cool. John, my 68 is a 340 Formula S fastback, a little over 2,500 made in 68. Well, see, I didn't even know. Maybe I'm really naive to the Mopar stuff. I had a 67 Belvedere GTX clone, and I love that car. But so it's not a factory 340, I would say, right? 68? Is that a factory engine? In 68? I thought 340 came out in like 70. Maybe I'm wrong. James Smothers checking in. Glad you're here, James. Glad you are here. I know somebody had tried to email me some pictures on the last live stream, and I did get some, and they had commented that they had sent me some pictures, but they never came. So I don't know who that was. I don't remember from the last stream. So anyway, the other things that I have to do, as I talked about with Jade, I've got I've got to get the carpet out of the box. I've got to get, a few other things, small things, out of the boxes and get them in place. I have like new door handles and door lock, knobs and all that sort of thing. All that's got to get on the car soon, and it will come very soon. Fly says hi. All right, Fly. Glad you're here. Iron Horse. Yes, factory. 67 was the first year for the 340. See? I learned something today. I did not know that. Because I thought the 340 came about the same way the 302 came out in the Camaro and stuff like that, because again, 340 would be too big anyway. Because I know that when they were doing Trans Am racing, they had to limit the cubic inches. And my mind was thinking 340 was involved with that. But if that were the case, they could have got away with a bigger engine. So scratch that. Back up. Never mind. Because I know that's why, Chevy came out with their 302 as well. Whitetail Garage. Cut the battery apron out of my 66 convertible. Going back with new this weekend. First time doing this type of work. Watching your videos for tips and tricks. Cool. Yeah, I've done several videos on the apron. So really not that hard of a thing to put in. That's probably one of the easier easier things to put in, because it's not like you're having to, like a floor pan. If you're doing a section of the floor pan where you have to make sure you cut the lines right, transitions right, not too much overlap, um, but the apron, it's almost self-aligning. If you do just the apron, like I had somebody ask me previously, they need to replace both front aprons and the core support, and they said, well, what should I do first? And I suggested, and they kind of brought it up as well, let's just do one apron at a time, get those in place, and then do the core support. If you're really wanting to have a comfortable measurement type of situation. For me, I'm familiar with them enough that I just kind of do it all at once. But for somebody who's not done it before, try to do one side at a time, I always say, and then, do the front. Make sure all your measurements are good. Leonard, nope, 67 on the 340, I think. Yeah, okay. That's what Iron Horse said, 67, yes. John Quinn, waiting for paint to come in on both cars. Bought from TCP Global. Got the Autobahn clear, recommended by you. Okay. All right, good. Good. All right. What else is going on out there? I know. Like I said, I had somebody send me some pictures last week, but they never came through. So if anybody has anything they want to share, you can email me some pics, and we'll get them up on the screen. Or if you want to be on the live stream, we can do that as well. What was the other thing that I had going on? Motorcycle. Oh, and here's another thing that I have to consider when I'm doing this, getting ready to get that 67 here. I also have somebody contacting me about working on a 69 fastback. So that's another thing kind of in the mix that I have to get figured out. So that may be coming as well at some point. But again, I have to get certain things done and out of the way before I can push more into the big box and work on it. Iron Horse, you could also get the 67, 69 Barracuda with a 383 big block, which is really rare, but no room for power steering in those. I'll bet. Yeah, that's a big engine stuff in that Barracuda. Yeah. That would be a big engine. That's why they put the Hemi in the back, right? Put the Hemi under glass. Harvey just got here. Bike looks great. Thank you, Harvey. Appreciate that. Fly, I'm new to this YouTube channel. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. Check out, there's like 800 videos on this channel you can check out. And most of them are Mustang related, but there's some on Camaros, Chevelles, trucks, cars, maintenance, all kinds of stuff out there. Troy, sorry I'm late, but work got in the way, but I'm happy to be here. Good. I am glad you're here as well. Leonard, had someone make a comment about the trans cross number on your bill for Brooklyn Pony and told him to look you up. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Leonard. Appreciate that. Matt is a 69 fastback from Ohio. I think the car is in Florida. I think that's where it's at right now. Where it came from there, I don't know. But that's another one that's the gentlemen's want me to do some sheet metal work to it, which is exactly what I want to do. Exactly what I want to do. I may have said it on Monday. I can't remember. I don't know that I want to do any more paint work. I just it's not my most rewarding thing to do. Yes, I can spray paint. Yes, it looks great, but I would still rather do sheet metal work all day long. Cut, weld, blend. It's like my love language. They talk about people having their love languages. I think mine is sheet metal. Tommy, hey Barry, been watching for a while. Just got a 69 Camaro, been sitting 22 years. It's in good shape, considering fixing to start working on her. Okay, good. Good. That's good to hear. I had a 69 Camaro. But I sold it. It was a 69. It wasn't really an SS, but it was Hugger Orange with, now I guess you could order them that way. It was Hugger Orange with the factory black stripes, black vinyl roof, black interior, the one you want. As far as in my opinion, if you're looking at a 69 Camaro, that's the one. 69 Hugger Orange, black, Riley wheels, all that stuff. I had it for, I don't know, a year or two. I don't even remember, but it was an Arizona car. It was rust free, and I got it at the time for a pretty good deal, and I sold it and more than doubled my money on it, and really didn't do much to it. So that was a good thing. Tom from Okay, Thomas. It's Tom from I guess San Francisco, San Antonio, San Andreas. I don't know where's San Diego. Got it. Okay. Tom from San Diego. Love your videos. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Karsten from Denmark is checking in. Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Rick, you still have a 68 Camaro. I do still have a 68 Camaro. You're right. Well, I have the shell or the inner structure of a 68 Camaro and a whole bunch of exterior parts that need to be put on that car. Maybe. No, I know I need to work on that 67 coupe. But I really do need to put that Camaro together so I can sell it, because I don't want to finish that car either. I don't want to finish it. It's getting more to the point where I don't want to do finish work. It's just the truth. I would rather do sheet metal work all day long. I love it. I love it. James, I finally received my right front frame rail from MPD. Back order since August. Car is a 67 Mustang. Wow. That is a long wait, James, but it's good that you got it. Maybe that's showing us, some things are happening, but I don't know. Steve. Hello, Joe Daddy. Just got a 16 Camaro. It's real rusty. Is it worth fixing? It is a RS with hideaway headlights. Well, that's debatable. It's debatable. To me, when somebody asks me, is it worth fixing? Is it worth it to you? That's the first question. How much do you really have to put into it to make it the car that you want, right? And what is the market on it? If you decide you're going to sell it, what are they bringing? You say it's an RS. I'm going to assume that it's a 350 automatic car. Does it have any other options? Does it have power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, any of those features that make it more valuable? Is it a special color? People had ordered cars in special colors, and those tend to bring more money because there was a low production on them. So is it, original engine, transmission, rear end, all those things add up to whether it's worth it or not. Now, the other thing is, if you're going to do it yourself, you can discount your labor, obviously. You can buy all the parts for those cars. So those are the kind of questions you have to ask. Yep. Carson's from Denmark, and Greg is from Australia. We might have to see if I haven't heard from Ricard. I don't know if Ricard's listening in right now or not, but he's in Sweden. And of course, we had the gentleman here, Larry. He's in Okinawa right now. So everybody's welcome. Glad you're all here. Let me see where we're at. Leonard, hopefully heading to the backcountry to do some sightseeing, and I'll keep an eye out for a 69 Mustang where I'm going. There's a lot of old cars sitting in fields. Hey, that would be great. I just, when we hear about, and I know you're like in the high desert, right? Every time I see like a fire out west somewhere, granted, I'm concerned for the people and their homes and all that sort of thing, but then I also think about what kind of car was in their garage that is no longer, here. What classic car was destroyed in the process? Because that happens a lot, and we don't realize it. A lot of those cars are once they're gone, they're gone. Karsten, I just made an offer on a Buick Riviera '69. Hope the deal goes through. '69, yeah, I had a '68 Riviera. I love those cars. I really do. I sold mine because I could not. I was beating myself up over having a car sitting here that I could not drive, and that car was fantastic, but it needed paint. It really just needed a paint job. That's all that car needed. And I let it sit for a long period of time. In fact, I made a video on it. It's on this channel. 68 Buick Riviera, white. I love the body lines on those cars. Just beautiful. If I remember, the 69 has the fenders come forward slightly. The 68 is more flat. The 69, I think, comes forward slightly. Phil, rust repairs are rewarding. Painting is nerve-wracking. Hello, Barry. Hope all is well. Yes. Yeah, and the thing is, like I made some videos on the bike here where I did fabrication. I made some brackets to hold the modules, and I talk about that. The nice thing about fabrication or doing metal work is if you mess it up, you can fix it right then. If you, drill a hole in the wrong spot, oh, that's fine. Weld it shut, move on. But when it comes to paint, we all know something goes wrong, it could be catastrophic. So that's why I'm so comfortable with sheet metal work. Steve Reed, yes, it is a power steering. It is AC, power steering, automatic, power brake, motor and trans gone, but was a 350. Okay, well, so that's a well-optioned Camaro. That's a well-optioned Camaro. And you said it was let me go back here. I think you said it was a 68. I think. 67. Okay, so the first year, that's good. The RS package on a 67, that's good. And then all the other options, that's good. Now, as far as the rest of it, what condition is it in? That's the bigger question. Now, if you look on my channel, I've got videos on how to fix all the metal on that car. I've done quarters, tail panel, wheel houses. I put in a one-piece floor pan in the 68. I replaced the firewall with a smooth firewall. Lots of information out there. So, James, my 67 Mustang convertible is factory Raven black. Everyone says black is difficult to paint in my home garage. Do you suggest a pro? Black? Okay. The only difficulty with black is prepping the car and making sure that it is flat as can be. The second thing, I'll say that was the first thing, but the second thing is what kind of issues you're going to have with dust and stuff like that, which is common regardless. But the hardest part about a black car is making sure it's flat. Now, the paint, it'll tell you if you're flat or not. As soon as you start spraying, you'll see it, So the prep work is the biggest deal. I would do it here, if I were doing one for me, I would do it here, but I also can sand and buff and get rid of stuff. So consider those, the prep work has to be spot on because black will tell you every single thing wrong. Leonard, maybe a possible road trip. Well, maybe. Iron Horse, St. James, it can be done. Take your time and do good body work. Sand. Yes. Yeah, it's got to be smooth and slick. Brendan, good morning, Barry. I'm glad you're here, Brendan. Hope all is well. I know I'm sure you're still on lockdown. Steve, thank you. Yes, you're welcome. Leonard, how's bro? And 7:45 a.m. here, coffee time. Yeah, I'm with you, Brendan. James says thanks. Yes, you're welcome. Karsten, the car is all done. Just needs a assembly. My neighbor just lost the spirit. Oh. Well, I don't know what the cost is for one of those cars over in Denmark, but that's a big car too. That's a big car. 69 Riviera. That's a big car. Um, it's like my wife would say, like riding in a cloud. You just go down the road like you're riding on a big cloud. These are some good questions we've had. Good questions. Um, and if anybody else has an opinion on the '67 Camaro, by all means, let them know. But I would say also, if you're going to do that Camaro, do yourself a favor, contact Auto Metal Direct. Auto Metal Direct, because they make the best panels. If you need quarter panels, trunk pan, all the whatever pieces you need, Auto Metal Direct makes the best pieces for the Camaro. Also, Mopars. That's their wheelhouse. Mopars and Camaros. I know the '68 Camaro that I have. What's going to be rough for me? Probably rough for me. We'll have to see. But the panels that I have are not AMD. They came with the car. But I mean, if you have not seen that video, I did a video called Basket Case Camaro. And it literally is a basket case. It was rolled over. Somebody started working on it. They really didn't know what they were doing, and they cut off a lot of sheet metal. In fact, all the sheet metal. The quarter skins are off. The roof is gone. The just everything is off of it. It's just the inner structure of the car. But the panels that came with it, because he had bought all the pieces and parts. I have all the sheet metal to put that thing back together. He, like I said, he just didn't know what he was doing. In fact, what I also have for that car, it's sitting right there, back in the shop. I have the whole side for the '68 Camaro, 67, 68, 69. I have the whole side, literally the inner structure for the roof line, the roof panel, the A-pillar, and part of the ductwork up front, and even the rocker panel. And I bought all of that at one time because, like I said, the car was rolled over, and the left driver's side A-pillar was pushed down. Somebody thought they could fix it by taking, I'm guessing, like a jack of some sort, and they put it between the rocker panel and the top of the roof, right at the A-pillar, and jacked it up. And basically, yeah, it pushed it up, but it buckled everything. It compressed all the metal in that area. It's bad. And the problem with doing it like that is you don't know where the measurements are. If you pushed it, if you jacked it up and you went too high, now you're going backwards, and you got to figure out how to get it back down. That and the A-pillar, instead of being, basically, I'll say straight, the A-pillar has a joggle in it, and it's all messed up. So when I was looking at that car and what I needed to do, you could buy the pieces. You could buy the front half of the windshield, the A-pillar, half of the roof line, and then down into the A-pillar and down into the rocker panel. You could buy that piece. It was like $300. Or you could buy the back half of that. And it was ridiculous what they were charging. It was like $400 and some dollars. You could buy it in sections and pieces. Or I could buy the whole side of the car. I think at that time it was like $700. So that's what I did. I bought the whole thing. So I need to put it on yet. I'm not done there, But the problem with the Camaro is if you compare a Camaro to a Mustang, everything is spot welded to everything else. The whole thing. Frame rails, A-pillars, everything. Roof, everything is spot welded to everything else. But the Camaro, what they did is they built a subframe that unbolts. So only from the firewall back is everything spot welded together. In that process, they did a different design. Like the Mustang has the paneled cowl. So you have the air vents on top. The air comes straight in, comes across, goes up the chimney towers, and down onto the floor. And it also has drains that go out the side. Okay, great. The Camaro has an unbolted or removable cowl piece, and then it has a more complicated internal structure. What that means is whenever you, like a Mustang, you can cut off the toe kick panel on the side, kick panel out. You can cut that out. You could, remove the firewall pretty easily, the floor pan pretty easily. Even the A-pillar is not too bad when it comes down to it. But the Camaro has an air chamber on the side. It has a big curved piece. And the A-pillar and that piece, it's all really complicated to the point where even I'm going to have to take the dash out of that car. I'm going to have to cut off spot welds and remove the dash panel before I can really get into it and do anything else. But, maybe I ought to just take a week or so and go crazy on it and see if I can't get it together. That would be a challenge, wouldn't it? Tune in every day, watch what I'm doing, go crazy on this Camaro and see if I can't get it together so I can sell it. It's got to be sold. I'm not going to finish it. Karsten is saying that the 69 Riviera is 130,000 Danish kroner, which is 22,000 US. Okay, that's actually pretty reasonable, I would think. Whitetail Garage, have you replaced a convertible top? That is coming up on my list. Have I replaced one? No. I've helped other people put on a convertible top, but I've not done it by myself. I don't have any videos on that. I was more of just somebody to grab one side and pull. I was just an extra set of hand whenever it came to it. Leonard watched it and thought, wow, what a handful. Yeah, the basket case Camaro, yeah, it is a handful. It is. But as I said many times, I like a challenge. And that car is definitely a challenge. So what I'll probably do when I get to it, which, yeah, I gotta quit thinking about it. I'm gonna be rolling it in here tomorrow. Yeah, I'll have to reshoot some stuff on that car, I think, video-wise. I think the opening video was okay, and the second video was okay, but I may have to do like a complete fresh walk around on that car. Yeah, on the basket case, yeah. Fly says 59 Cadillac is a pretty car. Yes, it is. It is a very pretty car. Can't argue that. Mason saying, where's Jade? Jade is sitting outside right now. I wanted to have a different background today. So I was talking about the fact that I got the motorcycle all put back together, painted, C-pans done, fenders on, all that stuff. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Rich, there's a live feed of Barry working on a basket case Camaro every day until done. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Now, the question with that, though, Rick, let me think about that a second. The question with that is, how do I handle that? Like, if I did a live stream of the Camaro build, I'm limited by video capability, for one. Two, I may not be working straight like crazy on it. Like I may have to, even now I'll work for an hour or something and then, take a break, get some coffee or whatever. So I have to figure out, how would I do that? How would I incorporate all of that into a live build process? That would be interesting. Mason says, cool, I know what you mean. Yes. Leonard, those will be very interesting videos. Patience will be needed. Yes. Yeah. And I'm, I talked about this before. A lot of times when I have a project in mind, whether it's the Mustang or Camaro or doing the fastback conversion or whatever, I I don't write stuff down. Typically, I don't write down what I have in mind. But a lot of times, what I'll do is um, before I go to bed, I'll plant seeds in my head. Basically, I will intentionally think about what needs to happen in the process, or what could be a hindrance, or what I need to do to prepare to do the next thing. And by doing that, I'll sleep. I don't toss and turn. I don't get it, like freaked out over, having something keep me awake. And a lot of people, they'll start thinking about something and they can't go to sleep. They just want to keep on thinking about it. But for me, most of the time, what I'll do is I'll plant some seeds in my head, and then I'll go to sleep. And then while I'm sleeping, I'm doing ideas. I'm processing stuff and coming up with ideas. So that Camaro, I've had it quite some time. You can go back many years and see that Camaro has been here a long time. Um, but I have been playing quite a few scenarios of what needs to happen and in what process, because being that this car was rolled over, and I'm not going to have any concrete measurements to go by. I don't think I have really to measure off of is that new half of the car. So I'm going to have to locate that. There's a lot of things that I have to hop in the process, but it might be a lot of just putting things together with screws, because, the roof has an inner structure to it. All that's ripped out of it. It's all gone. I have all the parts. But once you start setting things in place, you can back up, take measurements, square this, move that, because I'm more focused on having everything match on the exterior rather than being committed to saying, well, this is off a quarter of an inch. What do I do? Well, a quarter inch on the inside doesn't always mean a quarter inch on the outside. You can manipulate a lot of things to make the things work out. Karsten, when all is done, it is a $30,000 car. Yep, I believe it. That'll be cool. Dawn, planting seeds. My best ideas and solutions come from that practice. Yep. I do it just about every night. I may just briefly think about what I want to work on or what I need to do, or, and like I said, your brain will work while you're sleeping. You may not wake up with, oh, that's it. You may, it just may, while you're doing something else in your shop or something, it's like, oh, yeah, all of a sudden a little idea pops out of nowhere, and you're like, aha, it's great practice. Kim Kiernicki, hello from Cornwall, England. Would be good to see you making progress with the Camaro. Yes, it would. Well, maybe I'm just opening my mouth to put my foot in it right now. Because I could definitely get the 67. I'm still going to get the 67 coupe here as soon as I can. And maybe I just roll a Camaro in here and start building it. See, I torture myself with these ideas. Leonard, I don't know how many have watched your videos, but the one thing impressed me the most is you have never lost your cool. Yeah. I mean, that's just not me. I'm not geared that way. I'm always about. I think I've always been about solving the problem. I've always been that way, even when I was younger. Even at my dad's junkyard, if there was something wrong, I would just, I would see other people in relatives lose their cool and get mad and throw things, and you never gain anything from it. No, I can't say that I haven't thought about it. I can't say that I haven't wanted to take a hammer and smash some things. I can't say that for sure. But generally it doesn't help. It just doesn't help. Yeah, Kim, you meant Camaro. I got that. Rick, you've had the basket case even longer than Jade. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Rick. Robert, Infernal Craftsman, afternoon, I'll stop pulling the dents in the rockers since the AC can't keep up out there. Ooh. Yeah, that's never a good sign. Never a good sign. And you can see, I think you can see in here. Um, right by the drill press over there, the temperature in here is 70, about 72. Pretty comfy. Now, I still find myself sweating occasionally, depending on what I'm doing, but 72. James, he edits out swearing. Yeah, that may be possible. Shh. Dawn, my cool must be warmer than yours. I don't know, Dawn. You seem pretty laid back. You seem pretty laid back. I've seen how you know. Of course, it's all in how you edit, I guess, too, as well. But like I said, for the most part, now I have gotten angry with what other people have done. So, like when Leonard's talking about not losing my cool, if you go back to like one of the Camaro videos where I discover that the floor pan in that '68 Camaro that I was building was held in with like bubble gum. I was angry with that, not from something I did, but from something somebody else did and tried to hide. And had I not gotten that far into it, that car could have killed somebody. That car could have killed somebody because that floor pan, I literally um, stomped the floor pan out of the car with 1 foot stomping. I busted the floor pan out of that car. That's how sketchy it was. Dawn, I get to hear what's in my head. Others don't. Yeah. I, I get it. I get it. I'm glad nobody listens to me when I'm out driving around trying to deliver food at night. Robert, it was 82 when I gave up. Need more than 2 tons of AC or more insulation, or both. Or both. Leonard says he remembers that one. Yeah, with the floor pan. Yeah, I mean that was ridiculous. Wally checking in. ASO also pulls humidity, which is half the issue as it makes it harder to work. I'm thinking AC pulls out humidity. Yeah, humidity is rough. James, just like Brooklyn Pony donor car was a death trap. Yes. Yes, it was. Had somebody ever even tried to put that thing together. So, yeah. Yeah. And that's just it. You know, we used to see stuff like that at our body shop too. I talked about it before. We had a guy show up in a 67, I think it was a 67 convertible. And he said he wanted us to look at the car because some things were not adding up. And so the car looked nice. It was red, typical red. Somebody had taken Bondo and filled in the vents on the cowl, and it was all like cracking because you can't do that. The cowl will flex. They're vents. They're not made to hold filler. Um, but the guy said, "Hey, something doesn't quite feel right with the car." He wanted us to look at it. So I said, "Okay." So I took it over to the lift. I put the car on the lift. Now this was the top was down, which maybe isn't the best idea, but the top was down. But you should not be relying on the top to hold your car together. I started to lift the car off the ground, and I barely got the tires. I mean, I think they were still touching the ground or the concrete, and I watched the door gap go like that. They went, the door gap opened. I looked at that. I thought, that's not good. And I started looking, got my head underneath the car, and I reached up where the inner rocker should be, the third rocker panel, and the torque box in the rear. And there was like, I put my hand through it. I could put my hand inside the rocker panel. There was nothing there. And I was like, okay. I looked at the other side. It was the same way. It was all rotted out. I put the car back down. I said, let me tell you, I said, this car isn't even safe to drive. He said, what do you mean? I drove it here. I said, I know you did. I said, but this car is dangerous. I said, this car needs a complete restoration. It needs to come completely apart and a bunch of work done to it to make it right. And at that time, he was like, what does that cost? I said, you're looking at least $25,000 to get into it, at least at that point. He was like, I only paid 17 for the car or 15 for the car. And I said, well, somebody sold you a car that is a death trap. That's why you only paid that amount. He's like, oh, are you serious? I said, look. And I told him about reaching my hand up into the vent, into the rocker and all that stuff. I said, this car is unsafe to drive. He's like, well, I can't, I'm not going to do that. And this guy was like a doctor. He said, I'll just sell it. I don't care. I'll just sell it to somebody else. And I said, really? You're going to pass on a death trap to somebody else? He says, yeah, I don't care. Okay. Don't bring it back here. And I was angry with that guy. I couldn't believe he was even, wanting to do that. Karsten, I am a truck driver, drive a lot of miles. When I come home, I have a solution to a problem. Yeah. And let me show you something. Karsten sent me a picture. I'm jealous already. I don't even have to, I can just tell by the picture that I'm jealous. Karsten, that was kind of the color that I was going to paint my 68. I wasn't going to do the black top, but I was going to do a burgundy red color on the whole car. Yeah. I'm not sure about the wheels, just personally. I'm not sure about the wheels. But the rest of the car, yeah. I hope you get a good deal or make the deal on that car. That's sharp. And I have a couple other pictures I'm going to download real quick. Brendan says, that's why I have regular vehicle inspections here, Barry. I see dodgy stuff almost every day. I'll bet. And, especially when we were doing the body shop stuff, I had a car come in one time. I talked about it before. I had a car come in, had giant cracks on the quarter panels. And the guy was like, it was let's say it had like 22-inch wheels on it. It was candy apple orange, and it was a big car, whatever. But it was like a Buick LeSabre, I don't know, whatever it was. Cutlass. It was a Cutlass. That's what it was. Cutlass. And the guy brought it in, and he said, "Hey, my paint's coming off. My paint's coming off my car." And I looked at it and I said, that's not your paint. He's like, "What is that?" And I said, "That's all the Bondo they put underneath the paint." So he was driving his car, and I opened the trunk and I looked at it, and you could see where the quarter panels they'd both been hit, and they just took a hammer and beat them out and just started layering Bondo on top of this. This whole car had anywhere from a quarter to a half inch of Bondo in like the entire car. The whole thing was Bondo, and it was thick Bondo. And I said, "It's not your paint. It's Bondo that's coming off, and the paint's coming with it." "No." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Somebody just didn't do you any favors on this car." And he's like, "Oh, I just paid $35,000 for this car like a year ago or something." I was like, "What?" And so I tried to tell him, I said, the only way to fix this is to strip it all off and start over and fix it right. "Well, what will that cost?" And I told him it's going to cost you a lot of money. And he said, no, I'll just drive it the way it is. I said, okay. But that's what happens. So Dawn sent me some pictures of his subframe connector. So let's take a look at that. Let me pull up Brendan's comment. Okay. I can only see that just so large, but yeah, that's looking good. Now I see you got like it looks like there's some obvious angles. And did you sleeve it or something and put in because I see like where it should have spot welds, and I'm guessing you put sleeves inside of those where those seams are. I'm guessing. Yeah, that looks nice, Don. And I'm assuming you're making a video on all this. I'm assuming. So if everybody hasn't checked out Don's channel yet, check out Don's Manufactory so you can see what he's been doing on his car, Betsy. Thanks, Don. Give you a bell for that. Good stuff. Leonard says, Carson, that's a nice car. Yep. Her Scrambler. Hi, I'll just came in to take a break from wet sanding the primer. Well, good. Dawn, gal brought a car for me to look at before buying. Complete front clip brazed on. Told her to walk away. Yeah. I mean, I've had lots of friends bring me cars that were like, drivers, Hondas, Toyotas, whatever. They're trying to find a car for their son or daughter to drive. And when it comes here and I open the hood and I can't find the fasteners that are holding the headlight on, like wood screws going through plastic into metal that's all that's holding the headlight in place. And I see where like the core support, they just pulled on it enough to get it straight to where the hood would shut. Stuff like that. I'm like, just don't. Just don't. There's a reason why they're selling you this car for next to nothing. There's a reason for that. Even like there was we've dealt a little bit with the rebuild process here. Basically, if you have a totaled car, you do the repair work on it. You don't paint it. You take it to the inspection place. They're supposed to look at it and verify that it was repaired properly. And then you can take it back and have it painted, which to me is a bunch of hooey, because I've seen cars that went through the inspection that there's no way it should have passed inspection. Just no way. Places where there were drilled out welds where they never welded them back together, stuff that was missing, all kinds of different things. There was one where the driver's side had been hit and the rocker panel was rolled in. And literally all they didn't even fix the rocker panel. They didn't pull it. They took another piece of a rocker panel and put it on top of the bent section and welded it on and like beat in the edges where the welds were and covered it in Bondo. And it said, okay, here you go. It's fixed. And all they did was cover up the damage, stuff like that. It's just, drives me crazy. Dawn, yes, sleeves. I don't trust my welding yet. Yes, video is coming. Cool. Good. James, it's like anyone would ever chop up a core support and rivet on a new one. Wink, wink. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly how Jade was. In fact, if you remember, and when I was doing the core support and stuff on Jade, the passenger side apron, I popped it off with a screwdriver. Just pried on a little bit, just came right off. Brendan, I have to do a complete floor like in Don's picture. In my Mustang, I have to have welding certificate to weld and has to be certified by a repair certified panel shop before paperwork is released. Well, I know you have more hoops to jump through than we do. That's for sure. Leonard, my granddaughter was going to buy a 05 Mustang convertible, had been totaled and brazed back the front end, and this was at a car dealership. Yeah. And it's like people just don't care. When we had a collision shop, we had to take iCar classes. We had to be, what is it? ASM, what's the code? ASM or ASR, whatever, ASA certifications. Um, and like if we had to watch videos from how a car is damaged in a collision and what you have to look for. You know, you see damage on the left front, it should have damage all the way in the back. It should have, the damage ripples all the way through the car. If you ever see a slow motion video of an impact of a new style car, you will actually see a pressure wave bubble or wave the metal all the way through the car. So you could find damage in the back that was not even look like it was related, but it would be. Anyway, when you do all that stuff, ASE, thank you, Robert, ASE certification. So when you do all that, when you take a car apart and put it back together, if it has a weld every 2 inches, a spot weld, you have to put in a spot weld every 2 inches. It has to be the exact same configuration. You can't cut like an A-pillar. It drives me crazy when I see somebody that's taken an A-pillar and cut it in half, and then they butt together the A-pillar and just weld the perimeter. That's not legal. It's not how it works. It's got to be sleeved at the very minimum. But I wouldn't even, there's a lot of sketchy stuff that goes on. Brendan, and car can be put on road. Yes. Okay. Talking about his Mustang. Crash Rider. Yes. ASE. Yes. So, we had to have all kinds of certifications for what we did. And, you couldn't just slap something together and go, well, I hope for the best. See ya. It just didn't work that way. Okay. Yes. Got another ASE from Crash Rider. Yes. Okay. I see it's an hour and about 20 minutes, which is pretty good for Thursday. I've got some things to do and some things to think about. Now I'm thinking about the Camaro again, which is going to drive me crazy. But it's been great. This actually went pretty well today. I know on Monday I was struggling a little bit because I needed some subject matter to talk about, but today went pretty well. Good questions, good responses, and good turnout. And I want to thank you all for being here. I'll be back on Monday night at 7. And, maybe we'll talk about some more stuff going on, and we'll see what's happening in the shop. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.